Welcome back to The Money Show. I'm Winnie Kunene, and I've got my co-host Gerald, and we have a special guest, Deliza, and yay, we've got Mrs. X who's been telling us about the story, but we're basically talking about childhood experiences and how they influence you in your adult life in terms of your habits. And so Deliza has been explaining a lot about some of these behaviors that actually make people behave like kids when they are adults. Yes. Okay. Now, Deliza, let's continue. You were still telling us about some of these behaviors, and you've got your last 2 points as well.
The last two, yes.
Yeah.
The sixth one is they overreact to changes over which they have no control. Now, that for normal people is no problem.
Yeah.
But if they receive a letter from an attorney or from the City Council's accounts department, you know, the red one?
Yes.
And once they get that, for them,
it's a big thing.
It's a massive thing.
Because you have to go pay and you have to go clarification.
Now, you see, that is normal behavior.
Okay.
For them, that's the end.
Okay.
I'm going to be chased out of my house. I'm going to be thrown into jail. And that's the thinking, you know, that they go through, catastrophic thinking.
Okay.
And once they get into that, then like Mrs. X said, then they bury their head in the sand and hope that it will go away.
And that's when trouble hits.
Yes.
And we've had that on so many episodes where you have to communicate with the people you owe money.
Must answer the phone.
Answer the phone, talk to them, because when you went and you needed the money, they heard you.
Yes.
So essentially, don't hide. What's the last trait?
And the last one
money?
is that adult children are either super responsible or super irresponsible. Now you find there's some that stay super responsible in a rigid way that's unhealthy. And then you find those that are super irresponsible in a way that's very destructive. But the majority of the other adult children, they vacillate between the two. One moment they're super responsible and the next they're super irresponsible. At one moment they can build an empire. And in a flash.
And then lose it all.
And they break it down.
Wow.
They self-sabotage.
Wow.
And those are the challenges. Those are the characteristics. And they don't only show up. In fact, they show up in all their relationships, including their relationship with money.
Now, Mrs. X, now that you have joined the fellowship of the adult children of alcoholics, can you please explain maybe to our viewers, how does it work, the fellowship? What kind of things happen at the meeting? How big is the meeting? Is it welcoming, or is it an environment which is very difficult to be in?
It is a safe environment. It is one, I remember the first meeting I attended, I was shocked because you get a speaker who speaks about a specific topic, and the rest of the people, sometimes a meeting can be anything between 3 people or 30 people or even more. But it's a very safe environment. It's an environment where people feel free to share honestly, openly. And I felt right at home because as the others spoke, I didn't speak at my first couple of meetings. As they spoke, I could relate to what each and every person said. And it felt like somebody was looking in and knew exactly what I was all about. So I felt right at home. And it was such a relief to know that I was not the only person dealing with the issues that I was dealing with.
Sure. So I think the message to our viewers today is that you may be going through experiences in your life right now and know that you can't deal with money. You've gone to school, you know the theory, but somehow your actions never followed through, and you always react as a child when dealing with an adult situation relating to money. You might be someone who would fall into the category of adult children of alcoholics. Now, Mr. Deliza, how can one seek help? Maybe this show has enlightened someone who thinks and believes that they are actually a child who grew up in an alcoholic environment and it's affected their money affairs. How can they get help?
Well, the best way of getting help is to be in contact with Al-Anon. And it's just like I'm saying it, A-L-A-N-O-N.
Yeah.
Al-Anon. Because ACA is part of Al-Anon. And when you get in contact with Al-Anon, then they'll put you through.
Yeah, these are big things. We have unfortunately come to the end of our show. I would have loved to continue with this. This is a subject that tickles me. Thank you so much, Deliza, for coming with on the show.
Thank you.
Mrs. X, I cannot cannot believe, I cannot even begin to thank you so much for opening up and really sharing your story, because I know out there are thousands of people who are really struggling with that, and I truly wish you the best, and may you grow financially from strength to strength.
Thank you.
Thank you. And viewers, next week is our last broadcast for the year, and I hope you're going to wish us a happy birthday very soon, and we'll bring you all the 20, well, maybe not all of them, the 2014 Money Show highlights, the best ones. So keep sending us your mails to moneyshow@bdtv.co.za, and we would appreciate once again your comments and suggestions. And also they can give us a compliment. Hey, Mr. G.
Yes, they can say nice things too.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Now, Mr. G, how can you help?
We're building a community in which we interact and educate ourselves financially and hopefully grow in wealth as well. So you can log onto our website, askmrg.co.za, and we can interact and basically take things to the next level.
Excellent. Till next week, or is it going to be next year? What?
It's actually next week. We've got one more episode in 2014.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Next week then, from Winnie Kunene, the Money Lady, and
Mr. G.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.